Hello there, and welcome to the tour of the HoverDozer, the 20th vehicle in the first run Hover Vehicles series. My name is Wimperman, and I am the Chief Designer, Chief Builder, Chief Architect, and of course, Chief Dumbass of the old enclosed cockpit hover utility vehicle 04 Hover Driller. Those of you who are watching this through the workshop page can disregard this next little bit, but those to you who are subscribed to my YouTube channel, welcome to the new format of my tour videos. Right, with that out the way, let's take a look at the original vehicle. So here it is over here. This was built before the game was released, and as a result it has no container or extensions, no container controller. It has simply the old, let's see, is it behind here? It might not be. Where is it? Anyway, it has one of the old Aurum wood boxes that was just basically a cargo box designated for Aurum wood. It also has no CPU. As you can see, it was built before CPU was a thing, so it's well over, or it has no extensions in it at least. And the other thing that's missing, I believe, is the Wi-Fi. There may be some other things, but that's what I can think of at the moment. So, this was a two-person vehicle. The idea was that the second person in the rear seat here would control the drill turret, and it only had 4 drills on this vehicle. The idea being that the second person controlling the drill turret would make up for the missing drills. Now, I wanted this new one to be a solo player vehicle, so it's got 6 drills. And the idea behind this is it's supposed to be the pinnacle in the first run hover vehicles of solo mining. There is going to be a step up from this, but it's going to be a multi-crew vehicle. It's actually going to be the enclosed cockpit version of the extractor. No, the excavator. There we go. I always get that name wrong. So, let's talk you through the functions and the features of this new vehicle. First of all, we are going to start with its role and its task equipment. So, as you probably have guessed, it's a mining vehicle, and in order to facilitate that task, it has 6 mechanical drills, stock anyway. It does have a slot, although it's not installed, for a drill turret. Although, again, it's only a single person, so you would have to manually operate that drill turret if you were to install it. Next, let's move on to its propulsion and lift capacity. So, starting with its forward thrust, it has 6 medium tier 1 thrusters, or should I say tier 1 medium? Medium tier 1s, we'll go with that. It also has 4 medium tier 1s in all other directions, brake and reversed and lateral. Reverse, no T on that word. So its hover engines, by default, it has 2 smalls on each side and 1 large on each side hover engines switched on. Now, it does also have 2 larges for max lift by operating this device group shortcut there. And like my other mining vehicles, it comes with a mining hovers signal that turns off the outboard hover engines and turns on the ones nearer the center line. And that's to help keep its stability over the little pointies that are left behind as you're digging. Mining hovers, there we go. Now, in 1G with max lift on, she can lift 408 tons which doesn't include the vehicle, so you would need to take the vehicle weight into account. In 2Gs, she can of course then lift 204 tons, and in 4Gs, half of that again, 102 tons. That's again with max lift on. She does also have the 3 jump boosters, as I call them, on the bottom as well. I would have liked to have put them in a slightly better place than that, but it wasn't to be because, you know, space was took up by other stuff, but still. She does also come with 2 RCSSs, one there and one there, and they are both on by default. I haven't put any on the max lift with this vehicle. Right, let's move on now to the power, fuel and air. So, if we open up these shutters at the back, you will see some LCDs, but you will also see the 2 generators that she comes with stock. Fuel wise, she comes with 5, oh it might be 6, let me just check real quick. Fuel tanks, 5, it is 5, I was right the first time, I was wrong to doubt myself. So it comes with 5 of the large fuel tanks. I do believe that 2 of those, yeah, are in the rear side pods under the turrets. Then there is 1 accessible in the cab, and then the other 2 are buried in here at the bottom. O2 wise, the interior is of course airtight. You can see the ventilator whirring away in there, and it comes with an oxygen station and 5 O2 tanks. You can see the one that's accessible in the cab there, and as we were inside these rear pods you saw 2 of the other 4. Of course the other 2 of the other 4 being in the other pod on the other side. Oh, yeah. There it is, peekaboo. Okay, next we talk about the weapons and defences. Not really much in the way of those, because it's a mining vehicle, not a combat vehicle, but she has 2 Gatling turrets and a space in this back compartment for a shield generator. Next we're going to look at the interior and talk about the construction of the vehicle. Do you know what? She's on a bit of a wonk, isn't she, because of the hill. Give me a sec. Okay, as you can see we're on the inside, and you see we have an armor locker, and the lights are automatic on the sensor just there, the motion sensor. As you've been hearing all throughout, the ramps leading up to the doors are also on the motion sensor, as is the little exterior lights. I've missed a texture. Pretend you didn't see that. Ah well, it happens. Now, the construction of the vehicle, it is, let's turn on my HUD, shush you. So, it's made of steel, and steel only, although there are some decorative blocks that are, I'm not going to find any now, am I, that are plastic. There is some there somewhere. There's one. But there are some little plastic details. Now, most of the hull or body is... Gotta stop going within those sensor fields. Most of the body is a half block or variants of the half block. Now there are some exceptions, like here. I've missed another texture. Yeah, but other than those, it's mostly half block shapes. Right, let's talk about the storages. So, its main storage is its ore and wood container, which will hold 3,000 SUs. It also has a 500 SU ammo box. I mean, it only needs to feed 2 turrets. And as you probably saw as we were looking around, it also comes with a large and 3 small cargo boxes plus a mini fridge. Okay, let's now talk about its other devices, which aren't going to be many, to be fair, because it's not a particularly complicated vehicle. There are 4 landing gears in a weird arrangement, but that's the best way I could get them on. Of course, it has a Wi-Fi and a detector, which are on the bottom in sort of homage to the original. It also, as you can see, they've been flashing away this whole time, has some hazard beacons, which are part of the drill's signal. And as you probably saw on the inside of the cab, it has a couple of LCDs so that you can see which buttons will turn on and off the different custom signals and device groups. Speaking of signals and device groups, that's what we're going to cover next. So the device group toggles, although I have opened this window up a few times, as you can see we have propulsion, etc. That turns on the default hover engines and all of the thrusters, and it is actually linked to the device groups, which will become important in a minute. Then we have the max lift, which of course turns on the 2 extra large hover engines on the bottom. Then we have headlights, which turns the 2 headlights on the front. Then the tail lights, yeah, of course it has red flares on the back as tail lights. And finally the ventilator, so that if you are in a breathable atmosphere like this, you can turn off the oxygen and turn off the ventilator to save a bit of power. Won't be much, but it's better than leaving it on. Then for custom actually, no, that's the wrong button. I will prove, just in case anyone would like to see, that it is actually airtight in here. No, that's again the wrong button. Noob. See, this is why at the intro of all of my tours I say, Chief Dumbass. Because I am one. Right, the custom signals. Power save. Now, on this vehicle, there isn't much, but it turns off the LCDs in the cab, the Wi-Fi on the bottom, and the motion sensors. Next we have, of course, the drills for the drills and the hazard beacons. If you don't like these, by the way, do please feel free to remove them. The beacons, I mean, the hazard beacons. The mining hovers, as you saw earlier, will turn off the outboard hover engines and turn on the inboard ones. My God, look at all these missing textures. See? Dumbass. I promise that'll be fixed in the actual blueprint, okay? I shall go up into orbit in a minute and fix it. Next then, of course, the turrets for defense. Oh, hang on, let me retract those. Number 3, they're under 3, general purpose, and that is what they're set to. The ones you really need to worry about is predators and NPC factions for drones. I suppose I don't need the hover and the small vessels, because if you're PvE you won't need them. But it will target turrets and mounted weapons on those in case the Xerax get smart and start using them. And finally we have the internal and external lights, which are on the sensors, but you can control them manually with those signals as well. Sure. Okay, the next thing we need to talk about, once the ramps have finished being quiet, once they finish being noisy and started being quiet, is of course upgrading. So I'm going to park the vehicle on the ground so I can do this. I would recommend that you turn the vehicle off just so you don't blow up any generators. Right, here is what you're going to need. You are going to need 2 T3 CPU extenders. Of course you need 2, you wouldn't need 1 or 3 of them. Blah, but whatever. You will need 6 laser drills, assuming you've got those unlocked, and the drill turret. And you will need a pentaxid tank, a shield generator, and 4 power generators. You will also need this stuff here for upgrading the thrusters. 18 motors, 36 electronics, 36 optical fibers, 36 nanotubes, and 180 cobalt alloys. So there are 18 thrusters on this vehicle, and we'll be upgrading them all, so you'll need either 18 or multiples of 18 depending on how much each thing the upgrade requires. Obviously 1 per thruster, 2 per thrusters, and 10 per thruster. Okay, using your tool of preference, we want to retrieve the T2 CPU extender, the block directly above it, and the 2 matching ones over the other side labelled as T3. Then, of course, you pop the new extenders into those slots. Then you pick up this LCD screen. Oh, I didn't point it out, but it does. Oh, am I gonna? Yeah, you probably can. Yeah, there you go. It says pentaxid tank slot. Pick up the screen and those 2 blocks, and you pop the pentaxid tank in there. What's going on there? There we go. Oh, device grouping. So the tier 3 extenders go into the core and CPU extenders device group. That might sound a bit obvious. You can rename them if you would like, but you don't have to. The pentaxid tank, of course, is fuel, so it goes in the fuel tanks, grouped as number 1. Next we have the drills. Now you don't have to name them if you don't want to, but you probably will need to group them. So let's take that one up. Do I want to do it? Yeah, okay, let's do it each side. Hello, thank you. And oh, no, I want to group them. Okay, these go in drills, etc., which is down at the bottom. They don't have a number assigned to them. Okay, and there is the other 3. Don't know why I keep coming out when I can do that. There we go. Like I said, Chief Dumbass. Oh, and they will need to be signalled, I believe. Yes, because drills, etc. is a signal, not a custom shortcut. So, drills. Yeah. That's it. Cool, good. So, next then, the drill turret. So we remove these 9 blocks and the 9 red blocks underneath. And we pop a retractable drill turret. I can't see the... Excuse me, I can't see the rotation plane. No, that's the wrong one. There we go. Elion. Please fix. Okay, so that goes in there. Now, you don't have to paint it, but if you would like to, I normally paint them that colour. Oh, and if you want to paint the drills, I normally paint them that. That here. Oh, did I not signal that one? I didn't even group it. Yeah, good. I missed one. Okay. Like I said, you don't have to paint them if you don't want to, and you certainly don't have to rename them, but I would recommend at least grouping them. Drills. Okay, so that's those. Next you'll want to go into these shutters here, and you'll want to plop the shield generator in that alignment, standing up right, and it goes, oh, you of course need to remove the screens that are in the way, duh, and it goes in that slot there. Is it going to go? Yes it is. But yeah, if you're having trouble getting it in, it might just be the way round it is, so just point at the block forward of it. So that goes there, and that goes into the shield group, which is allocated as number 3, or one of the number 3s. And finally, because all of this is now too much for those 2 generators to handle, you need to put 2 in on each side. 1, 2, and 1, 2. And of course they all go into the power generation group just there. And now they're all in. Oh no, we haven't. No, we haven't upgraded the thrusters. Here we go. Now, these are a little bit difficult because as soon as you upgrade them, it takes them out of the device slot, the device group. Sorry. So you sort of need to do these as you go, otherwise things will break. Horizontal forward for stuff that pushes you forward. And there we go. Yep, good. It kept the... So, I think... yeah, I'll try it with this. I think if you do this... And now that lateral right device group is empty, 0. I think it loses its shortcut. I don't know if it'll show up again once it's full. And I just put those into the wrong group, didn't I? Lateral right. So thrusters that push the vehicle to the right go in lateral right. They point left, but they push it right. Okay. No. And okay. Oh, it does keep the shortcut. Okay, so maybe not so much need to worry then. Right. These are the horizontal reverses. Ah. And then finally, the lateral left thrusters. Oh, it let me do all of them that time. Ah, hang on. There we go. So it is actually slightly over. But it's so close that, you know, it's meh. And then, of course, you can recycle this stuff. Right, so that'll be the end of the tour. of the HoverDozer, the 20th vehicle of the first run Hover Vehicles series. Thank you very much for taking an interest in her. I hope you get some enjoyment out of it, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. So thank you again, and goodbye. I promise I'll fix the missing textures. Promise.